Right then, so this is the A2CFC. Now the A2CFC is in the open category, and basically what do you have to report? So if your drone crashes, do you have to report it? If it hits a tree, do you have to report it? If it's a building, do you have to report it? If it is a person, do you have to report it? If it just tips over on landing, do you have to report it? So, in CAP722, there is a flowchart, and this is what it looks like. Basically, it says what occurrence has happened. And then from there, we can come down and go, other occurrence. So, did the occurrence involve a manned aircraft? Now, if it does not, you must report it to the CAA. If it does not, you do not have to. Then we have the serious incident. And a serious incident you must report to the Air Accident Investigation Board. And again, did the occurrence involve a manned aircraft? If yes, you must report it to the CAA. If no, you may report it to the CAA. And then we have an accident, and then again you must report to the Air Accident Investigation Board. Did the occurrence result in a fatal or serious injury? So if you hit someone, basically, or did it involve a manned aircraft? If it's any of those things, you must report it to the CAA, and if it didn't, you may report it to the CAA. So you will follow that, and this can be found in CAP722, and this is all under section 2.9, 6.1. It's in chapter 2, and it's on page 72 currently, although that may change depending if there's a new CAP update. Now, the CAA does define an occurrence. So an occurrence is any safety related event which endangers, or which, if not corrected or addressed, could endanger an aircraft, its occupants, or any other person, and includes in particular an accident or serious incident. So an accident, an occurrence associated with the operation of an aircraft which, in the case of manned flight, takes place between the time any person boards an aircraft or gets off it. Not going to happen with a drone. So this will probably be one of your exam questions, which is crazy, and it kind of just makes me smile. So in the case of an unmanned aircraft, the occurrence takes place between the time the aircraft is ready to move with the purpose of flight. So you've done all your safety checks, your aircraft is sat there, it's on its takeoff landing point, it's ready to go, and then it's ready to go into flight until such time as it comes back to rest at the end of the flight and the primary propulsion system is shut down. Now, going back to the first part of that, if your aircraft is sat powered on and someone just isn't looking what they're doing, trips over, falls over your aircraft and breaks a leg or an arm, you have to report that because your aircraft was ready to take off. However, if you land and you've powered down your aircraft and someone trips over it and does the same thing, you don't have to report that. That's the difference. I know, it's crazy. So, a person is fatally or seriously injured as a result of being in the aircraft, which isn't a drone. It's not going to happen. So direct contact with any part of the aircraft, and that's typically the propellers. Now, direct exposure to jet blast, except when injuries are from natural causes, self-inflicted. So self-inflicted jet blast is when you deliberately walk behind the jet engine and it blows you over, for example. Or the aircraft sustains damage or structural failures. So bits of it are missing. Now, what's really interesting, read CAP722 Page 74, because it's all about manned aircraft. Very little of that means absolutely nothing in the drone world. It's quite bizarre, but it's the only thing they have to compare it to. They've not updated everything. It's horrendous. Now, a serious incident, so an incident involving circumstances indicating that there was a high probability of an accident and is associated with the operation of an aircraft, which in the case of a manned aircraft, again they're talking about manned aircraft, takes place between the time any persons board the aircraft, we're not getting on it, until such time as people disembark. In the case of the unmanned aircraft, takes place between the time the aircraft is ready to move with the purpose of flight, again until such time as it comes to rest at the end of the flight and the primary propulsion system is shut down. So a fatal injury. So an injury which is sustained by a person in an accident and which results in his or her death within 30 days of the date of the accident. So again, if the drone's powered, switched on, someone trips over it, falls over, serious injury, and they die within 30 days because of falling over an aircraft that was powered, sat on, and was ready to go for its flight, that would be a serious injury. That's it's, you know, if it's landed or it's just sat there on it ready to, not ready to go, and it's all dispowered and everything, nothing switched on, and someone fell over it, it wouldn't be. I don't know. It's crazy. I know the rules are crazy. So a serious injury is an injury which is sustained by a person in an accident and which involves one of the following: hospitalisation for more than 48 hours, commencing within 7 days from the date the injury was received, a fracture of any bone, lacerations which cause severe hemorrhage, I can't even say the word, hemorrhage, nerve, muscle or tendon damage, injury to any internal organs, second or third degree burns affecting more than 5% of the body surface, and verified exposure to infectious substances or harmful radiation. Well, that final bit wouldn't be a drone, by the way. So those are the things for a serious injury. So if you need to get a bit more knowledge on this about reporting things, go to CAP722, and what you want to put in is occurrence reporting into your PDF search, and it should take you to page 72 or page 71. So 71, 72 onwards, and there's about 5 or 6 pages there for you just to go through. If you're unsure, you'll just be able to read it, and hopefully you'll be able to make your report. So reporting a UAS occurrence to the Air Accident Investigation Board. The purpose of the AAIB is to improve aviation safety by determining the circumstances and causes of air accidents and serious incidents and promoting action to prevent reoccurrence. There's a rant in me here for this, because if they were absolutely serious by now, they would have mandated that all manned aviation should have transponders. Because let's face it, manned aviation has more problems than drones. So, all UAS accidents and serious incidents are required to be reported to the Air Accident Investigation Board, regardless of weight or whether they are used for commercial purposes or not. Now, interestingly, the M210 had a battery issue. You may not be aware of this, it was some time ago. There were, that I'm aware of, 8 to 12 DJI M210s that started falling out the sky because the battery management system wasn't right. And what was interesting is it was the fire service and police service reporting all these problems. The Air Accident Investigation Board looked at it. They stopped the M210 for a short while being used inside congested areas, and even those with reduced distance OSCs were told no until DJI fixed the firmware, and then it was reporting the battery voltage and capacity correctly. But for a short while it was a bit of a problem for the M210 users, and it was also found the M210 wasn't its IP rating as stated. So there are applicable regulations as retained in UK domestic law. So Regulation EU 996/2010 on the investigation and prevention of accidents and incidents in civil aviation. And then we have the second one is Statutory Instruments 2018 number 321, the Civil Aviation Investigation of Air Accidents and Incidents Regulations 2018. So that's it. I would highly recommend you read CAP722. There's also the CARES2 portal, and that's how you report a UAS occurrence to the CA. So if it's something you want to report to the CA, you will use the CARES2 portal. And you just follow it through, and it's all just, if you just follow the logic, you'll be all right. Can seem a bit winded though, the CARES portal. Right, that's the basics on it. But like I say, CAP722 is the one to go for. Have a read. Start at page 70 and read it through to page 80-ish. I believe it is, he says. It's worth a read. Yeah, I'm going to say to page 79, page 80. Depending upon the version of the CAP if they do the update. Right, that's reporting occurrences with your drones, should you have one. Safe flying, everyone. Take care.